Hi, this is Georg from Hyperseed. In this video I will show you how to build and use a simple custom component. This custom component will be used to show prices of a car wash and detailing company. We add a headline so we remember what this project is about. And to show prices for a selected product, we add a visual row to place elements next to each other. The first one will be for our car wash products. So we label this component car wash and we add a second one for the car detailing. Each of those should now have a label, a drop down to select a product, and then we want to show the price. So we add a drop down after we have deleted the not required input, and we add a currency field. We can already imagine that we have got to do this again for car detailing, but there is a smarter way to do this, and this is what custom components are made for. They allow to create a component that can be reused multiple times within the same project. We start building a custom component by giving it a name. This will become our product selector, and as this component should have visual elements that we show in the user interface, we switch to component is visual. This creates an empty custom component where, just as in the main application, we can add elements. We start exactly as before with our visual row to place elements next to each other, and we call this one our user interface. We don't need an input. The label we show we call product display, and we add, as we have done it before, two other components: the drop down to select a product, and eventually a currency component to show a price of the selected product. The drop-down therefore is called selector, and the currency field we call price display. To make this component now to show, whenever it's used, a different product name and different product options, we need to add inputs to this component. We'll start with a simple one, product name, and for the options that can be selected, we start with adding an input array. As we do not yet offer an input table, I show you how we can build a table for our choices by adding inputs to an input array. The first one will be our name column, and the second one will be our price column. Now, this component should not only have inputs with the respective values, but it should also get an output where we will show the selected price and call this the price of choice. To be able to test our component, the best way to show how it's working is to add some default values to the inputs. We can now connect the user interface to these inputs. First is the product name. We use an expression, reference the product name input. Hitting tab and enter, it connects. And we can check the result in the preview. Name of product is shown there. Now we do the same for the options of the selector. Use an expression to make this the name column of our choices. Tab and enter to select the suggested variable. We again check the result, so when selecting choice number 2, we also see that our selector drop-down now has an output value of choice 2. Eventually we want to show the price of the selected choice in our price display field, but also show this value on the output of the component on our price of choice output. We do this again with an expression using the lookup function, looking up by the selected value. We look it up in the names column of the choices table, and we return the price column of the choices table. When we test this now, we see that the price of choice already gets the right number, but we do not yet show it in the user interface. For this, we will also connect the price display element in the user interface with our price of choice output, and we'll test it. So when we select choice 1, we see the $100, and choice 2 shows the 150. So our component is now finished, and we will use it in our main application, replacing the elements we already have put there. Just now we drag and drop our new product selector from our custom components. The first one is about car wash. Entering the product name will show this label already on the user interface, and we'll add some choices here with the respective prices. We eventually check this now in the user interface by selecting a product, seeing that the price of the product is shown. We also give this element a name, call it car wash, and now can add a second one for the car detailing, but don't have to build anything again. Just enter the respective values, starting with a title, the product name, and the choices. When we now test the two elements in the user interface, we see that they behave completely independently, so that it allows us to add as many components as we like. Thank you very much for your attention, and goodbye.